Today, we are going to talk about strategic therapy. It's kind of therapy where the approach is more on addressing the behavioral and the psychological challenges. Um, I think that you're identifying like specific problems, and emphasis is on direct and actionable solutions. Means like you want to create something which works and which is easily followed. So let's take a look at like different ways of like doing it, like problem focused, symptom focused, paradoxical directive, straightforward directive, and reframing the belief system. So let's look at examples of the concepts, these five concepts, and how they can be applied. So let's zero in on problem focused. So problem focused is on specific issues or specific behaviors. So therapist takes an active role in designing targeted interventions to address these challenges. So it is problem focused. Now, let's say that a client is a patient is struggling with procrastination. Instead of exploring why the procrastination exists from a deep rooted perspective, the therapist is designing steps such as creating time management plan and introducing accountability measures to tackle the problem. So you're creating solutions or strategies. Now, this improves the immediate functionality and paves way for long-term success. That's problem focused. So somebody is procrastinating, you're not worried about why there is like the deep-rooted issues which might be causing the procrastination, but you're creating solutions where you're teaching time management skills, you're teaching accountability skills, things like that. Now let's go to symptom focused. In symptom focused, you're thinking about alleviating symptoms without, again, diving deeply into its origins. So let's say that somebody is struggling with insomnia, and your goal in this case would be like bedtime routine, avoiding screen before sleep, relaxation techniques. So this is symptom focused. Okay, now let's look at paradoxical directive. This one is very creative, and you're engaging the patient in their problematic behavior. Let's say that a patient is worrying about um, a patient has challenges with worrying. Now you schedule a worrying time, like let's say 20 minutes in the evening. You ask the patient to think about all their anxieties. By containing the behavior in this way, the client often begins to notice worry is losing power. They feel less anxious throughout the day because they're facing it for like 20 minutes. They had an opportunity to worry about everything. And because of the intensity and the time frame and deliberate act of doing it, what they see is that the intensity of this worry decreases over time and they do better. Now, let's look at straightforward directive. This involves direct instruction addressing some issues. So, for example, like somebody is dealing with high stress, the therapist introduces deep breathing and relaxation techniques, and these methods are practiced daily to help them build resilience. So, that is a straightforward way of creating solutions. Now, let's think about reframing belief system. So this one, what let's say that you are helping them to think differently and shift the client understanding. So let's say that a client is overwhelmed by the pressure to achieve, the somebody who's perfectionist and they're overwhelmed by the pressure to achieve, um, is encouraged to reframe their high standards. Instead of viewing perfectionism as a burden, they could see it as a strength, and changing the narrative helps. So, strategic therapy is very powerful. It blends creative approaches like the paradoxical with straightforward approaches, with problems focused and symptom focused. Hope that helps. Thank you.